Okay, listen. I'm a fan of office supplies. I probably should be committed for the amount of money I've spent on pens, stationery, the ever so wanted but definitely not needed endless supply of colorful sticky tabs, and the many, many accordions of post-it note stacks that could accompany my bass playing. Seriously, I want to dive into the issue that we have with post-its. Well, not really post-its. The meaning behind them, the reminders, the schedule notes, maybe even the need to feel important. Writing down every little to-do task on an endless list that we sometimes do not go back to. If you're like me, sometimes you create this codified system in an effort to ensure that you don't forget something, only to realize that you have no idea what the hell you wrote down because you were in a rush or thought you would remember the hieroglyphics later, only to find yourself sitting in your office chair stumped that it was even you that drew the semblance of stick figures as you were attending to other tasks when you made the note. Don't pause this episode to write anything down. Seriously. Resist the urge. Just listen. Because if you're anything like me, you'll end up with another sticky note, and you'll miss the point. Welcome back to Rooted and Rising with Dr. Carmela Maxell. On today's Sunday Seeds of Thought, I want to explore how we can sometimes lie to ourselves about task completion and how we can break through more effectively without feeling overworked and overwhelmed. You see, I'm a person that keeps several planners. I mean it. My best friend chuckles at the fact that I'm so religious in my need to make sure that all of my calendars are filled out with the information that I need to get my week going. I say, I have no idea where I need to be unless it's on my calendar. I literally just follow my calendar. She says, I know it's not happening unless it's made it onto all of your calendars. And boy, is she right. I have this twisted esoteric system between me, myself, and I. I have to write down information on a sticky note, collect said sticky notes at the end of the day, and then place them into all of my calendars. And the reason for multiple calendars is because one won't sync with this program, or my iPhone doesn't like this one, or I'm trying to set some boundary to not check email on this particular program, so I need to manually input the information into this calendar. And yes, I do this every single week. And is it perfect? Absolutely not. But 9 times out of 10, it does work for me, and I don't have issues. But for those other times, it is a hassle. Because I got sidetracked, wrote the information for an appointment down on something that was not a sticky note, shoved it into the side of my work bag, and totally forgot its existence until my brain did some random mental ping to remind me to clean out my bag. One day it hit me. I wasn't just organizing my life. I was organizing my intentions. And there's a difference. Because intentions feel productive. Writing, record podcast on a sticky note feels productive. Writing finished chapter feels productive. Writing call mom, pay that bill, schedule that dentist appointment, go to the gym, drink more water. All of those things give us this tiny little dopamine hit because our brain says, good job, you have a plan. Except nothing has actually happened yet. The podcast still isn't recorded. The chapter isn't written. That dentist appointment still hasn't been made. The gym still hasn't seen us. We've simply documented our ambition. And psychologically, that's fascinating. Our brains love closure. I'll revisit a concept in psychology called the Zeigarnik Effect. It suggests that unfinished tasks continue to occupy our minds because our brains don't like open loops. That's one of the reasons sticky notes and planners can be so helpful. They get those thoughts out of our heads and onto paper. But here's where we get ourselves in trouble. Sometimes we mistake writing the task down for making progress on the task. Have you ever spent 20 minutes creating the perfect to-do list, only to realize you spent 0 minutes actually doing anything on it? Please tell me I'm not alone. Or maybe you've reorganized your office before starting the project. Color-coded your folders, bought a new planner, watched 6 YouTube videos about productivity, downloaded another app that's supposedly going to change your life forever. And somehow, you're still staring at the same project 3 weeks later. That's because preparation can become a really sneaky form of procrastination. Not intentional procrastination, protective procrastination. Because as long as we're preparing, we don't have to risk failing. Think about it. As long as I'm buying notebooks, I don't have to write the book. As long as I'm researching podcast microphones, I don't have to hit record. As long as I'm creating the perfect workout schedule, I don't have to walk into the gym. Preparation feels safe. Actions feel vulnerable. And I wonder how many dreams quietly stay dreams because we're waiting until everything is perfectly organized before we begin. Here's another thing I've noticed about myself. My sticky notes started out as reminders. Eventually, they became evidence. Evidence that I was busy. Evidence that I had a lot going on. Evidence that I was important. Look at all the things I have to do. Look how full my calendar is. Look at all these responsibilities. But busyness and progress aren't the same thing. You can have a calendar packed from 7 in the morning until 9 at night and still never make meaningful progress on the thing that's most important to you. Because urgency has a way of bullying importance. The email feels urgent. The meeting feels urgent. Returning that phone call feels urgent. But writing the book, having the difficult conversation, starting the business, resting, those things rarely scream for our attention. They whisper. And whispers are easy to ignore when our lives are full of Post-it notes shouting at us. So here's my challenge for you this week. Don't buy another planner. Don't download another productivity app. Don't spend an hour reorganizing your desk. Instead, find the smallest sticky note on your desk. The one you've been moving from pile to pile. The one that's followed you from Monday to Tuesday to Friday to next week. Do that one thing. Then throw the sticky note away. Not because the paper matters, but because every discarded Post-it is proof that your life is moving forward. Little by little. One promise you've kept to yourself at a time. Because at the end of the day, your legacy won't be measured by how many planners you filled. It'll be measured by how many moments you stopped planning and started living. This week's Sunday seed is simple. Take one thing off your list. Not because someone else is waiting for it, but because you deserve the satisfaction of keeping a promise to yourself. Sometimes the smallest post-it carries the biggest weight. So, until next time, I'm Dr. Carmela Maxell. Your life was never meant to stay on a sticky note. If you made it all the way to the end without writing yourself another post-it note, congratulations, you were present. Now go complete one that's already waiting for you. If today's conversation gave you something to think about, I'd love for you to help this community continue to grow. Take just a moment to follow or subscribe to Rooted and Rising with Dr. Carmela Maxell, wherever you're listening. If you enjoyed today's episode, leaving a 5-star rating and review helps more people discover these conversations. And you'd be surprised how much that small act supports independent creators. Know someone who has a desk full of sticky notes or maybe a planner collection that rivals mine? Just share this episode with them. Chances are they'll see a little bit of themselves in today's conversation. You can also connect with me between episodes on social media by searching at The Real Carmela Maxell on Instagram, where we continue these conversations throughout the week. And if you're looking for even more content, don't forget to check out my Sunday Seeds of Thought, Midnight Reflections, and exclusive bonus episodes available through Rooted and Rising Insider on Apple Podcasts. Until next time, take care of your mind. Be gentle with your heart. A plan written on paper doesn't change your life. The first step you take does. I'm Dr. Carmela Maxell. This has been Rooted and Rising. Stay rooted in who you are, keep rising into who you're becoming, and never underestimate the power of one small step forward. Take care.